Despite all of the lack of support, despite all of the negativity, despite all of the attacks, I still managed to move forward and accomplish something that can really benefit R. Kelly. So I'm proud of the work that I did. I'm proud of the work that Robert and I did. And I'm glad if nobody else believed me, he believed in it. And we moved forward together powerfully and effectively and got this done. So this is going to be huge for him.
Ask you something. Have you spoken to Sharron recently? What is her relationship to you?
Well, Sharron, I've known Sharron for 30 years, man. Maybe probably more. She was my nutritionist at one point.
Right.
And then she advanced on up to working for a whole lot of professional people, you know.
Right.
And I hadn't talked to her for a while.
This call is from a federal prison.
But we all have, look, a lot of people are like Sharron. Sharron cares about me. She cares about my well-being. So sometimes your people that love you on the outside is like that as well.
Right.
And that's how I feel Sharron is, you know. And in the midst.
The reason why I asked is because she, more than anybody, is trying to, fight for your freedom.
But see the dirt,
right.
See the corruption, they see the tricks, and it's like instead of trying to open the cage, they basically shaking it, kicking it, throwing it down, hoping it break open.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Not totally understand.
Which I understand when you got somebody you love locked up in a cage and you know the bull crap is in the game.
We all watch Sharron WINBUSH do nothing but talk about the B.O.P. And I can go back. She went in 2021 talking about this going into 2022. Let's be real. She's pulling strings. She is the one putting it in his head. And see, this is the thing that I'm saying. I respect everyone's opinion, but what I feel is she is the one putting it in his head that you need to go after this. You need to go after this. And when a person is I think Sharron WINBUSH is a person that's putting it out here, making it a big issue, making him do this, making him do that. He started listening to her. And she started feeding this shit into his head because she was the only one. This man came out of R. Kelly now. But at the end of the day, who's pushing his button? Who's putting a battery in his back? Why is that like something that happened in 2019, y'all? Yeah, but she accessed these documents in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And it came out in 2020. You know what I'm saying? And they started investigating. Why all of a sudden in 2023 we talking about it when it should have been talked about in 2020? I'm saying that R. Kelly is saying this. If R. Kelly wanted to say this in 2023, why he ain't come out in 2020 and say it? Why he ain't come out in 2019 when it was first being put out? When it was being put out by Tasha K, why didn't R. Kelly address it? Why didn't he address it in 2020 or 2021? Now, he started listening to her. And she started feeding this shit into his head because she was the only one. I said my opinion is he shouldn't be talking at all. R. Kelly was sentenced in New York and still didn't come out about the B.O.P. We all watch Sharron WINBUSH do nothing but talk about the B.O.P. And I can go back. She went in 2021 talking about this going into 2022. Let's be real. She's pulling strings. She is the one putting it in his head. And see, this is the thing that I'm saying. I respect everyone's opinion, but what I feel is she is the one putting it in his head that you need to go after this. You need to go after this. And when a person is at their lowest, their vulnerable, he didn't put this in his head to go after it because she's the only one that has been talking about this since 2021, 2022. Now in 2023, we talking about the B.O.P. because, and I feel like the reason he's only talking about it is because she's pulling the strings. She is like, okay, he's gonna listen because now he's vulnerable. He's gonna listen. I think Sharron WINBUSH is a person that's putting it out here, making it a big issue, making him do this, making him do that. Come out about the B.O.P. We all watch Sharron WINBUSH do nothing but talk about the B.O.P. And I can go back. She went in 2021 talking about this going into 2022. Let's be real. She's pulling strings. She is the one putting it in his head. And see, this is the thing that I'm saying. I respect everyone's opinion, but what I feel is she is the one putting it in his head that you need to go after this. You need to go after this. And when a person is at their lowest...
Even he knew I was the one that got this to R. Kelly, who got his lawyers to pay attention to this. The letter writing campaign that I began March of 2022 was successful. It proceeded to the letters to the DOJ. I curated the interviews for Robert, and once he, despite all of the attacks, the negativity, the obstacles, the distractions, and 98% of people not helping me, we still made it into the end zone. And my work never stopped. My dedication never stopped. Robert never stopped. And we just kept moving. He's the one that stayed on his legal team to get them to do what he wanted them to do. And I just kept moving with what I knew to do. So this is a result of 3 long years of hard work, staying focused, and staying on top of what needed to happen that was in the best interest of getting Robert Kelly out. His lawyers lost in New York. His lawyers lost in Illinois. And the odds of the appeal working are low. So we needed this to do what we needed it to do. The noise on the lawsuit is what was needed. The lawsuit itself really doesn't matter. It's the noise that it made that does what I needed it to do with the Department of Justice. The interviews for Robert were actually spectacular because it got his voice out there. It made enough noise that the letter writing campaign was effective. When he went silent, it was actually better for me to speak because I can say more and I can speak more extensively on the case because I don't have any limitations in what I can say. So the lawsuit is actually complementary to all the work that Robert and I have gotten accomplished since he started doing the interviews and since I began the letter writing campaign back in March of 2022. All of it will work together to benefit him enormously.